Hey all, how you doing? Cream Crazy here, doing my September Q&A, despite the fact it is now officially October. Believe it. I got 18 questions for this Q&A. I'm so pleased, because it's the most I've ever got. I'm really happy. Thank you so much for giving me in these questions to answer. It's been a real pleasure to look at these and figure out answers to them. Now, as you know, there are a lot of people here I'd like to thank. Give them some personal thanks by checking out their videos, and if you want to, subscribe to them, because remember, if you put in a question to my Q&A, you get your channel link put in the description box. So click on these awesome people, check them out if you haven't. If they've got good videos that you like, subscribe to them. All's well and good. Now we can get on with this. First, MSDC Punk 88. Good to see you back on YouTube, man. You did a fantastic video in the week. Well done. You asked me first, have you ever thought about what entrance music you'd have if you were a wrestler? I know I have. So if so, what would it be? It's a tough one. I thought this over for years. I never really knew what music I'd ever have because I'd never been in the industry. But in the games, in the wrestling games, I always pick out a good music that has a lot of energy to it, has great lyrics that can really shine out to people, and it's just a fantastic song to begin with. And to me, no song envisions that more than "Come to Life" by my favourite band, Alter Bridge. So, if you want to check it out, the link will be in the description for it. It's a great song, and to be honest, apparently my brother told me there's no other song that would fit me because it actually sounds fantastically perfect for not just the character I'd have in the ring, but also the fact it's because it's Alter Bridge, it goes along with me perfectly. So, yeah. I mean, what would you have as a theme song? All the guys out there watching, what would you have as a theme song? Description, put in the comments section, so all good. Lil Chas1 asks, speaking on the same type of entrance musics, what is your favourite entrance music in the WWE? Now, if it's all time, it would be a while to figure it out. But the favourite music, and this is not biased, okay, is Cult of Personality for CM Punk, obviously, because I loved this song way before it became this. Because, yeah, sure, he had it in Ring of Honor in the mid-2000s, but the fact is he has got this epic music. The guitar solo is one of my favourites of all time. Living Colour are a fantastic band, way past this song. They have so many great songs to their name. Check them out if you haven't, because the first two albums, in my opinion, are absolute greats to listen to. Seriously, Cult Personality just fits Punk like a glove, and it makes me go even more excited when he's out there, so double whammy for me. Qua316 says, what got you into wrestling, and what was the match, angle, or storyline that kept you hooked? To be honest with you, I never really got into wrestling by watching it first, because it was mostly my auntie from Northern Ireland loved wrestling quite a bit, and she knew about wrestling at least, and she basically kept telling me about The Rock, and loads of people around school when I was younger also used to talk about The Rock a lot. And I didn't know what this guy was doing, what he was like. And I didn't understand what was going on here. My friend even gave me a Rock poster when I really got into wrestling towards the later years of my college years. And I remember buying the WrestleMania X8 game because it had The Rock's face on it, because I knew what he looked like by being given a magazine article from it. And then my uncle gave me some wrestling figures as a birthday present. I got into playing with those for a while, and then I found it on TV, which was fantastic for me because I found, oh, this is what this thing I've been playing on games and toys is like. It is. So it made me really happy, and then I got stuck into the Brock Lesnar Kurt Angle saga. I got into the Zach Gowen storyline quite a bit because I watched SmackDown a lot. It was on at 10 a.m. on Sky One on a Saturday. Raw was on late at night on a Monday. I couldn't watch it. So, and then I really got into it. I was on and off, and in June, the first thing I remember is the Vengeance pay-per-view build-up package, all the lineup, all the card, and I just remember seeing Lesnar and Big Show break the ring, and I thought the moment that happened, I'm a wrestling fan for life, and I still am to this day, because that moment set up everything. It was a brilliant, brilliant match moment that set up everything that I have to do about wrestling today. So I can thank that match for that. SmackDown really helped me. John Cena for Life says, why don't you collect figures as well as DVDs? I do. Well, actually, I say I did collect figures. Mostly because the Jakks Pacific figures were fucking incredible. They were so detailed. In fact, just over there somewhere, you obviously can't see it, but there are like 4 or 5 boxes in a stack tower thing, which have all my figures in it. And I remember I spent about 20 quid about 2 years ago on a limited edition Cactus Jack figure which had a barbed wire board with it. And I just remember, this is what inflared my ability with creative storylines to make stuff up on my own with these things. And I played with them for years, and the minute Mattel signed up for the deal, I hated that. I didn't want some fake bullshit toys that didn't look like what they should have done. And actually, I've seen them in the shops. They look poor compared to Jakks Pacific. TNA, you are fucking lucky to have Jakks Pacific as your toy manufacturer. These guys have a history of good toys and figures. The detail is fantastic, and I will miss that. I will miss that for years. I'm so seriously, that detail and brilliance in the manufacture was so good. Oh, I had so many good memories playing with those toys. Seriously. I still have them in boxes thinking, I probably can't sell them because they're in pretty shit condition. I know my Shawn Michaels figure is missing a head. But, you know what, anything's up for it. So I love those stickers, seriously. Largest 85 asked, which wrestling games do you like that you still play sometimes? Here Comes the Pain, without a shadow of a doubt. That game is phenomenal. I'm not going to go into it too much because I'm going to do a review on it later this month. And I don't play Day of Reckoning as much, but I did used to a lot. I still love, when I got it for the GameCube, when I lost my GameCube and put it in the Wii, I just remember how good it was. The roster may have been shit, but in comparison to Here Comes the Pain, of course, but the creator mode was fantastic. I tell you now, it's definitely one of the most realistic ones. It didn't look fake, but I had so many great moves in there as well. I mean, you don't see the SSD, the real butterfly lock, or the dragon suplex as a non-pin move in the PS2 Xbox games now. So it always ranks up there for me. I think Here Comes the Pain, though, is the definition of a great wrestling game that I will pick out my PS2. It's the only game I ever play. Grand Theft Auto can go fuck itself, because Here Comes the Pain I will always go back to. Seriously, if you haven't played it, go and do it. Get a PS2, play the fucker. It's a brilliant game. Fantastic stuff. Rico3, speaking on the subject of wrestling games, Rico3 asks, hey man, who do you think the 14 mystery superstars are in WWE 12, and do you think Michael Cole will be in the game as a playable person? Well, basically, because I am part of the SmackDown Hotel forum, I know all the info that comes out of this. And you know what? It's true. Michael Cole is in the game. There is no doubt, because there were some vectors, some renders of the wrestlers' silhouette things. You know, the what you select on the screen as a wrestler. Him and Trish Stratus came up as selections. They are DLC. We know Jerry Lawler is DLC. We know that one of those mystery guys is the mystery person that has going to be unveiled to us next month. The big thing that everyone's been hyping up to. Please hope it's Foley, Lesnar, or Jericho. Please. I know it's one of those three based on my intuition, because I know Shawn Michaels will definitely be there as DLC. Along with Trish, another 5 of those 13 are divas. So guess what you will about the others. I bet Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart will probably be there as well. I honestly don't know what some of them are, because some of them are apparently very significant, in the words of Corey Ledesma and THQ Tank on Twitter. So watch this space, go to the SmackDown Hotel in the description there, and you'll be able to find all the information you need, because it is very important I know all this info. Seriously. John Cena, oh, right, wrong person. Fan up for Habashme now. You're going to be very happy I'm answering one of your questions in this part. Have you ever liked the timed clock challenge? Now, I did have to ask you about this. And these are primarily the stuff where you basically, a match happens, a guy wins it in a specific time limit, and then another guy has to keep trying to beat it. Now, I actually think these things are great. You know why? They're fucking unpredictable. Because you've got 6 guys. And then you don't know who's going to come out. It could be someone small, could be someone tall, it could be something massive and huge like Mark Henry, or it could be someone with a very good moveset who you have no idea who you're going to beat. That was fantastic, because you've got different styles of wrestling in. You don't know, depending on who the wrestler is that they're facing, who is going to win, and what kind of time limit they put in. It's really unpredictable. And I honestly think, if it's any way of setting up something, it'll be a great thing to do it. The only one I can remember off the top of my head is New Year's Revolution 2005, in the build-up to that for the Elimination Chamber, having to have Triple H, Benoit, Edge, Batista, Orton, all going up for themselves, and on Jericho as well, going up into this time challenge to find out who will go out last in the pods. And I just remember Batista getting, I think it was Rhino or something like that, and he just obliterated them. Everyone else at that point had done okay. Benoit was the second to last in that, and it was unpredictable because you don't know who you're going to face. And it really could change from there, because the time limit, say someone like Rey Mysterio is in one of these time challenges, he goes up against Big Show. Now, and he's only got 3 minutes to do it. It adds tension, it adds unpredictability, it's fun. You know what? Bring it back sometime, because I'd love to see. So say if they've got a championship scramble match, do that to find out who would be the last person coming into it. It'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? It'd make an edition of SmackDown very, very interesting, I'm sure. Hell, even Raw could accommodate one of those. Lil Chas 1, a second question, asks, what's your favourite finisher move? Of all time, Crip the Crossface, without a shadow of a doubt, because you can feel the fucking impact from the move itself. There is nothing about that move I don't like. The Dragon Suplex also ranks up there, simply because it looks fucking gnarly. Just racking their arms back and then basically landing them, like folding them up like an accordion on their skull and shoulder area. It's fucking incredible. But I think my all-time favourite would have to be the SSD, the Steiner Screwdriver, simply because it looked fucking painful. You don't know where to find this move? Go look at Scott Steiner's stuff from the early 90s with his brother Rick in the WWF, because that move, suplex position, twisted, bang, you landed head first. And it was the sickest move I could possibly remember. I had it as my finisher move on Dead Reckoning. And it was the best move because it knocked you out so quickly in the game. It was brilliant. And it's one of those moves where I think nobody would dare attempt pull it off today. Because it's so, so deadly. It's like the Vertebreaker, but the Vertebreaker is about 16 times worse. Fuck it, the Vertebreaker is a brilliant move. Definitely go for that one as well. Yeah, I love finisher. Like I said, not many finisher moves nowadays, apart from Go to Sleep or Pedigree, that really end a match properly for me. You know? Doesn't really work out. John Cena for Life, your second question. What did you think of the rude and abusive crowd from One Night Stand 06? Because, of course, from your perspective, you're a John Cena fan, of course. You believe also, so it is rude and offensive because they're grown men shouting abuse, but because it's directed at Cena, you take a different viewpoint, I suspect. Me, I found it fucking hysterical. You know why? Because it was so funny. Because at that point, I hadn't heard too many crowds like that. I saw the pay-per-view on TV live, and it was hysterical. I love crowds like that. We should, if crowds like that were there for every single pay-per-view, every single Raw and SmackDown, but were impartial with one side supporting, all doing their job properly, then I'd be happy just to watch wrestling knowing, the crowd are really into this. That's one thing I do miss, because crowds are not into a match or an event as much as that. I mean, they were rude, they were abusive, but I found that much to my liking, because it fit the mob mentality of ECW well, and it was just great. I mean, my aspect of Cena is he's a great guy, but his wrestling gimmick is shit. So therefore, I can officially say that shouting and abuse was great. Chudderman, you asked here, what do you think will be the next big change for the WWE? Now, this is very hard. This is extremely hard to give a proper answer for, because you don't know what the next change could be. Because we went from the rock and roll wrestling era with some cartoony gimmicks throughout the early 90s, with some good technical wrestling, to the Attitude Era, to the Ruthless Aggression Era, to this PG era, to the point where we're now blurred in between. And the wrestlers at that time are so different compared. We don't know what kind of moment would make or change. It differs with the time, it differs everything. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what moment will make someone else a big star. We don't know what Vince McMahon is going to do financially to make these things profitable. We don't know at this point. So, best thing to do is just wait and see, because this is something you can't predict. And honestly, I can't answer that question properly because I have no clue. And guys, I'm going to be back in part 2. That'll be uploaded a bit later. I'll see you then. Cheers. Hope you're looking forward to that part as much as I am. See you then.